Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today we are going over the Burning Abyss deck profile. I'm going to be giving you guys somewhat of a two-time deck profile. You're going to be getting the post-BOSH build, which is not necessarily legal right now, and you guys are also going to get a couple of edits and suggestions so you guys can make your Burning Abyss deck legal for right now. The legal version that I did play did go undefeated. I lost to actually Ryan Campbell into top 8. And it was pretty fun. I really like playing this deck, especially since it gives you the ability to disrupt your opponent's scales. More often than not, in the rogue matchups, you have an advantage. So it was just a very fun deck to play. But let's get into the deck profile. I started off with 3 copies of Skarm. I mean, everybody runs Skarm. 3 copies of Farfa. 2 copies of Livic, 2 copies of Farfa. 2 copies of Seer, 1 Kogna, 1 Barbar, 1 Graph. Draghig, Tour Guide, Rubik, 2 copies of Crane, and 3 Fiendish Warrior Rhinos. Now, obviously, the Fiendish Warrior Rhinos were not TCG legal at the time that I did go undefeated. I ran Mathematician, another Draghig, and I believe, what else did I run? That was interesting. I know I ran another monster because I ran 20. I think I ran a 3rd Libic. And my logic behind it was that I wanted to make, oh no, I'm sorry, I ran Blackjack. I wanted to make Backjack as live as possible. Draghig helped you make Backjack as live as possible. And you know, anytime you activated and resolved the effect of Backjack successfully, it was just really good. Even to just see the top 3 cards of your deck. The next for spells is 2 copies of Twin Twister. This card's godly, like it is amazing in here. 2 copies of Mash Change 2, Foolish Burial, and Good and Evil of the Burning Abyss. As opposed to Twin Twisters, I think I just ran more traps. I'm pretty confident I only ran the Good and Evil, the Foolish, the 2 Match Change, and I just ran more traps. For traps, we're gonna go 2 copies of Traveler of the Burning Abyss, 2 Time Space Trap Hole, Horn of Heavens, 2 copies of Horn of Heavens, 2 Fiend Grieving, Solemn, Fire Lake, Vanities, Skill Drain, and 2 copies of Ultimate Providence. Now, a couple of these cards, as you guys have seen, are not out. At the time that I did go undefeated with it, like the Ultimate Providences. And when I said I ran more traps, I ran 3 copies of Phoenix Wing Blast, and I did run 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill. The biggest problem is that now I kind of want to fit Breakthrough Skill back in because it is an out to Cyber Dragon Infinity. But let's go over the new cards that I am playing, and then I can explain that. Fiendish Warrior Rhino is godly. This is probably the single best card in the deck, mainly because it allows us to be able to summon and interact with non-Burning Abyss monsters with our Burning Abyss monsters. Furthermore, we can Tour Guide it, and we can still Exceed on top of it to make Dante. And then, even to add more to Fiendish Warrior Rhino, when it's sent to the graveyard, we get to send a Fiend monster from our decks to the graveyard. So, high Skarm, high Seer, high Libic, and all my other Burning Abyss monsters that can be toolboxed to the graveyard. At first I was running 2 copies, but then I just wanted to see it as fast as possible, and I noticed that I was still running Mathematician. The reason why I cut Mathematician is because I didn't feel that it was worth the summon. Typically when you summon Mathematician, you can lock yourself out if you're not sending Libic to your graveyard to special summoning a BA from your hand. But now without Mathematician, I can just summon Fiendish Warrior Rhino and continue to go. It's the exact same thing almost. The next thing, another thing about Mathematician is when you send Libic, you obviously summon the Burning Abyss monster from your hand. As opposed to you could just normal summon the Rhino and then special summon the Burning Abyss and then make whatever you have. And then on top of that, with Mathematician, you were forced to use that Burning Abyss monster's effect, where Fiendish Warrior Rhino, you can, get whatever you want to. Another great thing is Twin Twisters. This card is the best card at disrupting the opponent's scales. The cost is not even really a cost for us, seeing that 17 of our 20 monsters gain significant advantage from being sent from the hand, field, or deck to the graveyard. Actually 16 because Rubik doesn't. Destroying our opponent's scales are pretty vital. I don't think I really have to say anything other than that. And as long as our opponent isn't pendulum calling into their scales, then hey, we're great. Mash Change 2 has won me a significant amount of games, and I think everybody that's played Mash Change before has said it. When your opponent Wavering Eyes and you chain link 2 Mash Change into a Danklaw, you win. There's really nothing your opponent can do. You just instantly win. They banish those 2 cards and then you just mow on from there. Foolish Burial is obvious, and Good and Evil, it's so good and evil. Like, it's so good and bad at the same time, because you use Cogna obviously to send it, and then it gets pesky Burning Abyss or allows you to get off certain effects. I didn't really use Traveler much, but I think I want to talk about Ultimate Providence. This card's amazing, especially seeing that it's a TCG exclusive and hasn't been tested in OCG Shorts. What it does is when the opponent activates a card, we can discard the corresponding card. So if they activate a trap, we discard a trap. If they activate a monster effect, we discard a monster effect. And we negate the activation and destroy it. Ultimate Providence is really good, especially when I'm negating monster effects and resolving my Burning Abyss or my Fiendish Warrior Rhinos. That's pretty much it for the main board. A couple of cards that I think that, a lot of people would be really interested in. Phoenix Wing Blast, I still think it's a pretty decent card. XYZ Universe for Cyber Dragon Infinity. The only reason why I'm not playing XYZ Universe is because I don't own a Cyber Dragon Infinity at this time. And Breakthrough Skill. I really want to try to fit Breakthrough Skills back into this deck. But let's get to the extra deck. The extra deck is, very, very, very standard. There's not really much else to talk. But for the people that are new to the Burning Abyss strategy, I think I'll give it to you. We're going to go with 3 Dante. If you're running less than 3 Dante, I don't know what to tell you. It's the best card in the deck. It actually fuels everything you have going. 2 copy of Down Syndrome Magician. I think one of my subscribers did point out that it helps me get into Utopic Future. I'm not saying that's bad, but I still haven't found a genuine reason to keep Down Syndrome Magician. And yes, a lot of people will argue that, oh, they can't snatch it with Infinity. Well, guess what? They can't snatch Dante with Infinity anyways, because after it attacks, it goes to defense. I guess a good thing is that it prevents from being castelled, so I guess there's that. 2 copies of Acid Golem. I'm running 2 because I mainboard Skill Drain. And anytime you can sit on Skill Drain with a 3000 beater against almost every deck in any format, you probably win. Nightmare Shark wins games. Alucard, I've actually summoned this card more times than I thought I would, especially with all of the counter traps running around. Wind Up Zen Mains. This is an out to almost every floodgate you'll see. Utopic Future, this card is really, really, really good. Overlaying 2 monsters of the same name. I can't use Acid Golems unless they were Skill Drain, which then would defeat the purpose. Down Syndromes and Travelers are your main targets. Fortune Tune, I think it's just 2 monsters that aren't numbered, now that I think about it. Blah, blah, blah. 2 Exceed monsters with the same rank. No, so it doesn't matter. It just has to be the same rank. My apologies. Dayglaws, obviously. I don't run, what's that card? The other Masked Hero, because it's not a win condition. Dark Law is outright a win condition. The other one isn't. And then, of course, 1 copy of Virgil. At first, I was going to drop this card ultimately, but the fact that it spins cards from the graveyard and field to the deck has proven to be very useful over time. There's really not much to say about the main board, or the extra deck. It's just so simple. It's really hard to deviate from this. Like I said, the Fortune Tune would actually have been Cyber Dragon Infinity, but at this current moment, I do not own one. Well, thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. This deck did go undefeated pre-BOSH, and now this is the post-BOSH build, which I'm pretty sure will go undefeated. Oh, just to let you guys know, as you guys have been seeing, it's brought to you by Game Repair. Had it not been for Versus/Game Repair, I would have not been able to get all of the new cards that I've had, the day before I needed to do the deck profile. This is the Cali Effect, over and out.
Hey guys, if you would like to purchase the cheapest cards online from your favorite YouTuber, you can definitely click in the video down below. That will take you to my binder update. Consequently, if you guys check in the description, you can always find my Google Documents that will have cards that are not even on this binder update. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can always message me on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.